My name is Dina Falconi. I'm an herbalist, educator, the author of Foraging and Feasting and Earthly Bodies and Heavenly Hair. What's in store for you today? What's amazing about this moment is we are tapping maple trees, sugar maples. Acer saccharum of the Sapindaceae family is the tree that we're going to go tap. Actually, I'm not going to do the tapping. We have a guest on the show today. His name is Tim. He's my significant other. So I've got the mic here to interview him. Let's go see what he's up to. Come on.
Yes.
All right.
We're rolling, huh?
Yes, we
Like
are.
that, huh? Okay.
Just like that.
All right.
I'm going to first have everyone meet Tim. So show us what you're going to do, Tim.
Okay. So we're getting a late start this season. I was hesitant to tap until the snow cleared because I need to get my tractor here around to all the different trees to collect the sap. I don't use plastic tubes. We use buckets. So as you can see, it's melted here, but we've got like a foot of snow over there. Okay, so I'm going to start with our sort of special home tree that Dina particularly likes, and it's been really generous to us. We usually get a gallon of syrup from this tree alone per season. 40 gallons of sap will boil down to 1 gallon of maple syrup, give or take, because it depends on the sugar content of the tree and the year. We love this tree, and it's grown a lot in the 22 years that we've been here, but it's got some issues, and I did cable it some time ago. You can see it's got a crack forming here. So when looking at where to tap, there are areas vertically on the tree that are going to be more and less productive than others. I'm not an expert on that, but I do know that that's a fact. So I'm not going to tap. So I'm choosing where to tap. I'm not going to tap here. Another factor is north-south facing. As we're starting late in the year, and this is south facing, it's always nice to put our bucket on this side so we can see it as we're coming and going. But I'm going to put it on the far side this year. The reason being that every day as the bucket fills, the sap, particularly later in the season, can start to go bad, and it's better for it to stay cool and out of the sun. So because we're starting later in the season, and this is a pretty full sunspot, I'm going to start around in the shaded part. Now, I'd like to bring you here. You can see here's a former tap, and that's healed over. I think this is another one. I was careful to move about 4 inches over. Let's circle around. Look, there's another one. And maybe that was one. We've been tapping for 22 years.
I'm going to add a quick comment that I learned from Nellie, who's been taking maple syrup classes, and she says that you don't actually want to go on the actual in the same circumference.
Horizontally.
Yep, because then you could girdle the tree, so maybe Tim could learn from that.
Yes,
and
indeed.
Perhaps he didn't tap as knowledgeably.
Yep.
Like we should alternate heights, so you're creating these patterns that you do not girdle a tree with.
I did variate a bit. It looks like here's one. It looks like here's an old one. This might have been a sapsucker. Sometimes there's woodpecker damage and stuff, and you can get confused. Like, for sure, I didn't tap up here or here. So
back to the north side, the north-facing side of the tree here.
Yeah.
And Tim is going to tap and actually skip up a ways.
So another consideration, like I said, this tree has a crack. So it's almost as though it's two trees. I'm assuming that the crack runs through the middle. Like I said, I'd had it cabled, and you can see the crack on the other side. But just to illustrate, it's from here up. So from a sap perspective, it might be like there's two trees here. And I'm not going to go with the old school principle of tapping 2 or 3 buckets to a large tree. I'll only do 1 bucket to 1 tree regardless of the size. Quick look at the tools I'm going to use, and this being the first tree of the season, I'm probably forgetting something, but let's see. So I've just boiled this this bit. I'm going to be using this to tap. I'll be tapping a lot of trees, so I'm bringing another battery pack because it uses a lot of energy. So this is a special size bit, and it's to this special size spile. I'm using the smaller size spiles because it's healthier for the tree than the old school ones that are slightly bigger. I've boiled these spiles just now. What else I'll be using? Once I've drilled with this and I go to the next tree, I'll clean it with isopropyl alcohol. I will also, after I've drilled in, I'll blow out that cavity to try to get any dust out. And of course the bucket and the hangers.
You want to make sure that you're tapping trees that are old enough, that are mature enough to handle a tap, and that's typically between 30 to 40 years old. Of course, it does depend on how the girth and the actual size of the tree, but the average age is in the 30 to 40 year range. So let's go on to Tim, who's going to actually tap the tree right now.
Yes, we've selected a place. I also want to mention that you should tap 1.5 to 2 inches is typical. So what I've done, I've measured and I've put some duct tape at like 1 3/4 inches, so I know when I've drilled in the depth that I want. So here we go. We've decided to go about, let's go here. I'm gonna drill in on an angle, and I'll explain that in a minute. I'm going to keep drawing out because I want to get the filaments out of there.
Oh, there it comes.
You see that?
Wow. Tapping so late in the season, really, your sap is just super on right now. It's
Next,
flowing.
I'm going to make sure that I remember to put my hook on first. I'm going to gently tap in. We don't want to tap too much because you can split the tree, which you don't want. But here we go. And now you'll hear the percussion. Lastly, I'm going to put the lid on this barrel so that at times of rain, the sap doesn't get diluted. It also keeps some of the bugs out.
And thank you, Mr. Timothy Allen. That is a wrap on today's maple syrup lesson. Thank you so much. And thank you, maple syrup tree. Thank you, sugar maple. And we're going to return to the next part of syrup making later at the Sugar Shack.